Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhishma Drona Pramukhatah Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam Uvacha Partha Pashyetam Samavetan Kuruniti.
In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, "Just behold, Parth, all the Kurus assembled here."
Tatra Pashyanti. Sorry. Can you bring it down a little bit? Please bring it down. Yeah. Okay. Tatra Pashyanti Sthitan Partha Pitra Nath Pitamahan Acharyan Matulan Bhratra Putran Potran Sakhim Sthatha Shwasuran Sruhirdescheva Senayorubhayorapi.
There Arjun could see within the midst of the armies of both parties his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his father-in-laws and well-wishers.
Drishtavevam Swajanam Krishna Yuyutsum Samupasthitam Sidanti Mama Gatrani.
Bhaktaji, are you reciting 27?
28.
Or am I 28? Did we do 27?
Sorry, I'm sorry. Tan samikshaya sa kaunteyah sarvan bandhunavasthitan kripaya paryavishtoha vishidannidam bravit.
When the son of Kunti, Arjun, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus.
Drishtavevam swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupasthitam sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parushusyati.
Arjun said, "My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth is drying up."
Vepathuscha sharire me rohamarshascha jayate gandivam sastrasasse hastat vakcheva paridahate.
My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing up on end, my bow Gandiv is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning.
Nacha shaknomyavasthatum brahmativa cha me manaha nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava.
I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon.
Nacha shreyo nupashyami hatva swajanamahave na kakshe vijayam Krishna nacha rajyam sukhani cha.
I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness.
Kim no rajena govinda kim bhoger jivite va ye sharmarthe kakshitam no rajam bhogah sukhani cha ta ime vasthita yuddhe pranastasyktva dhanani cha acharyah pitarah putra tataiva cha pitamahah. मातुलः श्वशुरपौत्रः शालः सम्बन्धितस्तथा एतान्न हन्तुमिच्छामि घृतोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतोः किं नु मह कृते निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्नः का प्रीतिः स्याद् जनार्दन.
O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra?
पापमेवाश्रये देस्मान् हत्वेतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नार्या वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् सबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधवा.
Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill all the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen?
यद्यप्येते न पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं मित्रदोहे च पातकम् कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापदस्मान्निवर्तितुं कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं प्रपश्य द्विभिर्जनार्दनः.
O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family nor quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin?
कुलक्षये प्रणश्यन्ति कुलधर्मः सनातनः धर्मे नष्टे कुलं कृत्स्नं धर्मोऽभिभवत्युत.
With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion.
अधर्माभिभवात् कृष्ण प्रद्युष्यन्ति कुलस्त्रियः स्त्रीषु दृष्टासु वार्ष्णेय जायते वर्णसङ्करा.
When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny.
शङ्करो नरकाय कुलघ्नानां कुलस्य च पतन्ति पितरो येषां लुप्तपिण्डोदकक्रियः.
An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped.
दोषैरेतः कुलङ्घानां वर्णसङ्करकारकैः उत्साद्यन्ते जातिधर्मः कुलधर्माश्च शाश्वतः.
By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated.
उत्सन्नकुलधर्माणां मनुष्याणां जनार्दन नरके नियतं वासोः भवतीत्यनुशुश्रुमा.
O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by duplicitous succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell.
Aho bata mahat papam kartu vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukhulobhena hantum swajana muddataha.
Alice, how strange it is that we are prepared to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen.
Yadi mama pratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarane hanyus tasmai shemataram bhavet.
Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield.
Eva muktvārjunah sankhye rathopastha upavishat visrajjana sasharam chapa shoka samvigna manasaha.
Sanjaya said, Arjun, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief.
Thank you, Anju Mataji.
Sorry
Nice.
for the mistakes.
That was very nice recitation. Thank you, Chitraletika Mataji. Very nice to hear you. So dear devotees, welcome to today's session, our chat session. If anyone's joining us for the first time today, a warm welcome to you. We gather every day to recite Bhagavad Gita, one chapter a day, sometimes half the chapter, depending on the length of the chapter. And then we discuss one verse in more detail. Today, we will be discussing text number 30 of chapter number 1. So I'll share my screen. I've made a few presentations. So as always, we'll start off by reciting the Mangala Charana prayers. Mangalam means auspiciousness. So we invoke auspiciousness by paying respects to the spiritual master, predecessor acharyas, the Lord, Panchatattva, and Srila Prabhupada. You can also recite with me behind muted mics. If you look at page number 1, or is it the introduction? First page of the introduction in your Bhagavad Gita as it is. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sja Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gaura Dharmani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachya Dishatarine. Srila Prabhupada. So, text number 30. Nacha Shaknomi Avastatum Pramativa Chame Manaha Nimitani Chapashyami Viparan Viparitani Keshava. Synonyms. Now, no. Cha, also. Shaknomi, am I able. Avasta, to stay. Pramati, forgetting. Iva, as. Cha, and. Me, my. Manaha, mind. Nimittani, causes. Cha, also. Pashyami, I see. Viparitani, just the opposite. Keshava, O killer of the demon, Keshi, Krishna. Translation. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield, and he was forgetting himself on account of this weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. Bhayam Viti Yabhini Veshataha Swayat. Bhagavatam 11:37. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The words nimitani, viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. One's real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. The verse again. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. So in this section of verses, we continue to read about Arjuna's bewilderment. Prabhupada uses the word in the purport, impatient. Arjuna says, I am unable to stand here any longer. Meaning, he just wants to run away. He wants this whole situation to be over because he is feeling completely bewildered. He says, I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. Manaha, his mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. So this is a situation that none of us want to find ourselves in, where we feel, as Prabhupada says, completely bewildered, completely under the influence of the mind. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport, this is all happening by Krishna's arrangement. The Lord wants to orchestrate the speaking of the supreme knowledge, the Bhagavad Gita. And to do this, the Lord uses his devotees as instruments. Krishna always uses his devotees. So Arjuna, being a pure devotee of the Lord, he can never come under illusion. Prabhupada says, where there is the sun, there can never be any darkness. Ignorance is darkness. Where there is Krishna, there can never be any ignorance. So Arjuna, being a very close associate of the Lord, he can never fall into bewilderment or ignorance. So what we are seeing Arjuna experience here is the arrangement of the Lord. But if we to take Arjuna's position on face value, we can learn many, many things, many instructions we can take from Arjuna's condition for our own lives. I'm sure we have, in various times in our life, experienced situations where we have felt completely bewildered, where the mind has taken over, where a particular situation has completely overwhelmed us. Practically speaking, we cannot think of anything besides the situation. We cannot eat. We cannot relate to anyone. This is what happens when we come under the control of the mind and the material energy. So there are some important salient points which we will go through. I'll come to this wonderful verse that Srila Prabhupada quotes in this purport a bit later. Prabhupada starts by saying, excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. So here Prabhupada is giving us the root cause for Arjuna's situation. And what is that root cause? Excessive attachment for material things, meaning the material body. When we become excessively attached to anything material, we become bewildered. Because the nature of the soul is spiritual. The soul has nothing to do with anything material. This whole material existence, as the Lord explains in the Bhagavad Gita, is just like a dream. But who gets hung up over a dream? Sometimes we dream a tiger is chasing us and we are full of fear. But when we get up, oh, it was only a dream. We don't have any hang-ups about it because we understand it's a dream. Sometimes we dream that we have become super rich. We're enjoying all sorts of opulences. And when we get up from that dream, none of us start crying. I'm not so rich anymore. No, we just understand it's a dream. Only one who is bewildered, is an illusion, would take that dream to be a reality. So in the same way, this material existence, the Lord explains, it's simply like a dream. It's temporary. We should not really become attached over it or bewildered by it. But because we become excessively attached to something material, we take it to be a reality. And we get completely bewildered by that entire experience. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes this beautiful verse from the 2nd chapter of the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. By Dvitiya Vinivesha Satasyad Ishada Pretasya Viparyayo Shritihi Tanmaya Yato Buddha abhajetam bhaktyai kayesham gurudevatma. Translation. Fear arises when a living entity misidentifies himself as the material body because of absorption in the external illusory energy of the Lord. When the living entity turns away from the Supreme Lord, he also forgets his own constitutional position as a servant of the Lord. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency for illusion called Maya. Therefore, an intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, whom he should accept as his worshipable deity and his very life and soul. So originally, this quality of bhayam, fear, it's not a condition that's natural for the soul. It's not a condition at all that's natural for the soul. But when the soul comes under the influence of the material energy, then immediately this fear becomes evident in the life of the living entity. The moment we turn away from the Lord, immediately at that point in time, we get a material body. And the moment we get a material body, immediately we start to identify with so many things. This is my body, this is my family, this is my house, this is my car, my, I. And then we become attached to that. And the moment we become attached, then the fear of losing it manifests in our consciousness. And this root cause is turning away from Krishna, forgetting our constitutional position as servant of the Lord. When one remembers his position as the servant of the Lord, there is no fear. There is no fear. Srila Prabhupada, his father gave him the name Abhay Charana Ravinda. One who has become fearless, having taken shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. So this material, bewildering, fearful condition, it is affected by the potency of the Lord, called Maya, avidya. So it is said originally our position, the living entity's original position is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. We are eternal. We know we are eternal. We are Chit, fully knowledgeable and cognizant of our position, and Ananda, we are blissful. So the moment we turn away from the Lord removes this Chit potency, this knowledge potency. And when the Lord removes this knowledge potency, we get covered by darkness, by Maya. And then what Maya means, what does Maya mean? Maya means that which is not true, that which is not reality. So we take to be that which is not reality to become reality. And then from there, from this attachment comes fear. So what is the solution? How do we come out of this fear? We can only come out of this fear if the Lord bestows his Chit potency on us again, and he removes his Maya potency. And this verse says, how does that happen? At what point will Krishna remove his Maya potency and bestow upon us his Chit potency, the knowledge potency? And we will never become fearful, we'll never fall under bewilderment. will never be in ignorance. It says here, when we engage unflinchingly. To flinch means to hesitate, to have some doubt. When we engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord. Again, this word is unalloyed. An alloy in metallurgy. An alloy is when you do not have a pure metal, is when you have metal and then there's other metals that are included in it. Then it becomes an alloy. It's not pure steel. So in the same way, we should engage in unmixed devotional service. Unmixed means there is no desire for karma, no desire for jnana, no desire for yoga. Just pure devotional service. And then the next part, very important part, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. This is extremely important. On Friday, we were studying the Nectar of Devotion. And in the Nectar of Devotion, the book in which Srila Rupa Goswami explains the complete science of devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami says there are 64 items he lists for pure unalloyed devotional service. And he said the first 3 are prerequisites. One cannot say or claim to be situated in devotional service without having these 3 prerequisite engagements. The first is Guru Pad Ashraya, to take shelter of the spiritual master. Then to take initiation from him. And third is to serve him. These are prerequisites. One cannot say one is engaging in unalloyed devotional service. And in what mood should we accept such a guru? Srila Rupa Goswami uses the word Vishvambrena. But here it is said, Guru Dev Atma. We should accept the Guru as one's very life and soul and as one's worshipable deity. Worshipable deity means you have a deity and you worship this deity with full consciousness, with full love, and with full surrender. So this verse says we should accept the Guru in this mood. That this Guru, my Guru is my worshipable deity. I was telling the devotees on Friday about one experience I had. Many years ago, I was traveling to Los Angeles, New Dwarka Temple with my Guru Maharaj as his personal assistant. And when I was there, I met a very advanced devotee. His name was Balaram Das. He is a disciple of Tamal Krishna Goswami, a very intimate disciple of Tamal Krishna Goswami. And he told me, he said, Vrindavan Chandra, let me give you some very good advice. Your Guru Maharaj, Giriraj Swami, you take him as your Krishna. You accept him as your Krishna, as your worshipable deity. And you serve him in that mood with your life and soul, and you will become successful in your spiritual life. And today when I read this verse, I thought of that incident. That we should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master who we should accept as our worshipable deity and our very life and soul. When Krishna sees this, he removes his Maya potency. and he bestows his chit potency on us, and in all our bewilderment, all our confusion, all our fear in this material existence will immediately be gone. Won't that be a wonderful situation to be situated in? That'll be wonderful. The next interesting point that Srila Prabhupada makes in this purport is about our own self-interest. And Prabhupada is essentially saying in this purport, because we really do not know what is our own self-interest, that is why we get into trouble. That is why we get bewildered. And I'll read to you a beautiful extract from Srila Prabhupada's The Prayers of Queen Kunti, chapter number 6. It's very profound, very instructive. Prabhupada says in that, in his writings, no one is thinking of Krishna and how Krishna will be happy. Rather, everyone is thinking in terms of his own happiness. How shall I be happy? How will my children, my community, my society, and my nation be happy? Everywhere we shall find this. Everyone is struggling for existence, not thinking of how Krishna will be happy. Krishna consciousness is very sublime. We should try to understand it from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and try to engage our senses for the master for the service of the master of the senses, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. Then we shall actually be happy. Now, in this statements, Prabhupada is giving us very, very deep spiritual knowledge. All of us, we are acting for our own self-interest, meaning we are acting to see how we can become happy. And we think our happiness will come if we make our children, our community, our society, our nation happy. Prabhupada said, everywhere we find it. So we think our self-interest, our happiness lies in this way. But that is a big mistake. That is a big mistake. Prabhupada is saying our real self-interest is when we make Krishna happy. Because when Krishna is happy, all happiness is attained. So real self-interest is we do not know. We think our self-interest is by serving the extended self, family, community, society, nation. But all of us know in this life and many millions of previous life, it's not got us what we have been seeking. There was a nice statement Prabhupada makes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela, chapter 20, text 54-2. And there he gives the definition of a pure devotee. And Prabhupada comments on this verse of Lord Chaitanya, where he says, I do not mind my personal distress. I only wish for the happiness of Krishna. For his happiness is the goal of my life. However, if he feels great happiness in giving me distress, that distress is the best of my happiness. And Prabhupada writes beautifully in the purport. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that a devotee does not care about his own happiness and distress. He is simply interested that Krishna is happy. And for that purpose, he engages in various activities. A pure devotee has no way of sensing happiness except by seeing that Krishna is happy in every respect. If Krishna becomes happy by giving him distress, such a devotee accepts that the unhappiness as the greatest of all the happiness. Those who are materialistic, however, who are very proud of material wealth and have no spiritual knowledge, like the Prakrita Sahajias, regard their own happiness as the aim of life. Some of them aspire to enjoy themselves by sharing the happiness of Krishna. This is the mentality of fruitive workers who want to enjoy sense gratification by making a show of service to Krishna. Again, Prabhupada makes the same point. What is our self-interest? Our real self-interest is in caring about Krishna's happiness. Because by doing so, we automatically achieve all happiness. And this, in one sense, is the essence of what is a pure devotee. And Krishna is showing by putting Arjuna into illusion. Arjuna is thinking only about his own happiness. What if I kill my grandfather, my uncles, my cousins, my brothers? I will become so unhappy. Not thinking, what does Krishna want? What will make Krishna happy? Eventually in the Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna changes his consciousness by hearing the Bhagavad Gita, he realizes, oh, I'm just thinking about my own happiness here. If I think about Krishna's happiness and I do what pleases Krishna, then everything is perfect. And that's where the Bhagavad Gita ends. And Prabhupada explains this mature understanding of Krishna consciousness. He says in a nutshell, mature understanding of Krishna consciousness means that whatever condition of life I am in at present, that is Krishna's special mercy upon me. Therefore, let me take advantage in the best way possible to spread this Krishna consciousness movement and conduct my spiritual master's mission. If I consider my own personal progress or happiness or anything other thing personal, that is material consideration. Very, very, very simple statements, but very profound. If I consider my personal progress, my personal happiness, or anything personal, I'm in material situation. If I consider Krishna's happiness, Krishna's purpose, the purpose of the Guru, then I am in spiritual condition. And Prabhupada uses the word nimittani viparitani. Sorry, Krishna uses the word. Now, this is a very, very significant 2 words. Very significant. What does it mean? Nimittani viparitani. Means that we start off with the aim of something else, with something, and all we get is the reverse. Nimittani viparitani. I start off with something with a certain expectation, and generally the expectation is happiness, peace, joy, but all we get is the reverse, no happiness. So this is what Arjuna is claiming to be. He's saying, I think that if I fight in this battle, I will get victory. But I can see that it will only give me lamentation. But this is an illusion of Arjuna. Even if he did not fight, he would still be in lamentation because of it. So the only way to stop the reversals, the nimittani viparitani, is to act in alignment with Krishna's wishes, in alignment with Krishna's desire. Then there will not be reversal. We will not get what we expected to get. That's what normally happens. So these are some very, very significant words. And this is the nature of material life. One famous poet said, if you want to be happy in life, give up all expectations. Because expectations is the source of our misfortune and misery. So a pure devotee of the Lord, he has no expectation. He simply serves Krishna to please Krishna. And there's no other expectation. And because he has no expectation, he achieves or she achieves the greatest happiness. But someone who serves Krishna either with expectation, who serves the material energy with expectation, what they will get? The complete opposite of the expectation without fail. This is how the material world has been designed. This is how it's been designed. There's no two ways about it. You can analyze anybody's life materially, and this is what we will see is the reality. So it's a very nice verse, very wonderful verse. We are seeing here in this verse, in summary, Arjuna in this bewildered condition, under the influence of the mind, and he can see only misfortune. He thinks that to overcome all of this is to stop fighting. But that's nimittani viparitani. No matter which way he looks, the real solution is to do as Krishna desires. So we'll stop here. We'll take any questions, comments, or reflections anyone may have.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Sandeep Prabhu.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji.
Please accept mine.
What a beautiful class, you know. Nimittani viparatini. I don't know how to say that.
Viparitani.
Viparitani. Amazing, because I think I experienced it a few days back.
Yeah, first-hand experience.
Yes, I was lamenting about it, but now I'm happy. Great. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
This is beautiful. I would encourage anyone to read this purport. You know, if there's no other questions or comments, I mean, I'm happy to read the purport of this verse, 11 to 37 of the Bhagavatam. It is such a beautiful purport. Such a beautiful purport given by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Any other questions, comments, or reflections?
Hari Bol Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Chandra Chaitanya Prabhu.
Beautiful class. Beautiful class. And the devotee, the disciple of Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he talked to you and he gave some wonderful advice which applies to all of us. Worship your spiritual master as if though he is Krishna himself.
Yes.
And by doing so, you are sure to succeed in life.
Yes.
I think the more we think about it, the more profound it becomes.
Absolutely, Prabhu. Therein lies success to spiritual life. You know, if we do that, we please Krishna. By pleasing the representative of Krishna, who is very dear to Krishna, Krishna becomes pleased. And that darkness can just be removed by the Lord, not by our own. Daivi esha gunamai mama maya durachaya. This material energy is Krishna's energy. We cannot overcome it by our own. Only if Krishna is pleased with us, he can remove the covering and bestow his chit potency on us.
Very profound. So thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Chetna Mataji, you have raised your hand, or Chetna Prabhu. Would you like to?
Hi. I have a question about expectations.
Yes.
So I mean, in a world that we live in at the moment, it's pretty obvious that we'll have expectations from people, and they will from us as well, you know, be it family, employers, employees, you know, and sometimes one party will have more expectations from the other party, So how would it work if you keep giving into somebody's expectations and don't expect anything in return? It would kind of make one feel unhappy. I think if you constantly give in and you don't get anything in return, or you don't have to expect anything in return.
Yes, in a material situation, certainly, Chetna Mataji, you know, that is a formula for disappointment and unhappiness. You know, to serve, well, you can see two different ways. Say, suppose you are in a contemporary situation outside a devotional situation, right? You serve anybody, any person without expectation. So take that situation, right? You're just serving without any expectation. You serve your children without expectation. You serve your husband without expectation. You serve your company without expectation. Do you think what you are saying is that's a formula that's not sustainable? It'll only, you can't live like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Because then if you keep giving in, you're not and you don't expect anything from anyone, how will that bring happiness? Because I mean, it is a material world, and I mean, I'm very honest. I have expectations for everything and from everyone around me, just like everyone else does from me.
Yes. So the whole Vedic philosophy, Mataji, says we should come out of that expectation. We should just act out of duty, because it's a formula where you're setting yourself up for failure. I'll just take a simple example. You know, we some of us have children, right? And we have much expectations from our children, right? Many times, oftentimes, those expectations do not get met. And when those expectations do not get met, what happens to us? We become dejected. We may become resentful to those children. There are so many negative feelings come when those expectations are not met. But say, suppose you serve your child with the consciousness that, you know, I've got this material body. Due to my karma or whatever reasons, these children have been put under my custody. It's my duty to do all that a parent should do. To care, love, educate, whatever it is. But this is just like the Prabhupada gives the analogy that we are like on a bus. The bus stops, we jump on. And then the bus will carry on, other people may come, we may meet, we may develop relationships. But at some point in time, we'll jump off the bus, or they jump off the bus, and those relationships end. If when you jump onto the bus, you start having lots of expectations about that relationships, those temporary relationships that you have in that short journey, that invariably leads to unhappiness and frustration. So the Vedic scriptures say we should act out of duty, but don't have expectations, because expectation binds you to the material world. Expectations invariably lead to unhappiness, frustration, and oftentimes even resentment. Do you understand the point that's being made, Mataji?
Yeah, I do, but it's just very difficult to actually put it in practice.
Yeah, therefore we need to enlighten ourselves with knowledge. Through knowledge, then we will not find it difficult. It's like, you know, something is seeming very difficult when you don't know. But when you know about it, it's not so difficult. So in the same way, to live our lives, you know, as I gave the example of if it being a dream, you know, no one starts to have expectations in the dream. Or when you wake up from the dream thinking, oh, I was expecting to enjoy all of that wealth. No, it's a dream. So this material, Krishna says, this whole material existence, this journey is simply like a dream because it's temporary. It's temporary. So don't put expectations on something that's temporary.
All right. Okay.
But I agree with you, Mataji. I do completely, how can I say, I'm on the same wavelength as you. Because once, we are in a certain position in our life, we see certain things from a certain perspective. But when through the process of knowledge, which comes through devotion, our vision of things, our perspective of things will change.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for the explanation.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments? Oh yeah, Venu Prabhu, you have your hand raised.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandvat Pranam. What a beautiful class. It was my first session today, and I'm really blessed that I joined at the right time. I think you said some fundamental things that have really struck a chord. So a follow-on question from Mataji previously,
Yes.
with regards to goals and expectations, I'm trying to use that, analogy where I'm not having any expectations. So I'm not going up and down so much and facing, the misery or anything. But as a personal challenge, I think I'm finding it difficult because, say, when I'm working and I'm trying to get a promotion or trying to get an appraisal or something done, and still the recognition isn't there, how do I deal with those challenges myself?
It says Shastra Chakshu, to see through the eyes of scripture. So we all understand, Mataji, that the moment we take birth, we are destined for so much of happiness and so much of distress. And due to our karma, we are due to receive certain things.
Yes.
Sometimes we can endeavor as much as we want, but if it's not in our karma, it's not going to happen for us. Right? So in the same way, it's not that we do not endeavor. We do our endeavors, but the outcomes, we become a bit more detached from the outcomes. Just to say, and then also to think, there was this famous story about maybe yes, maybe not. It's a long story. I won't say that now. But sometimes what we think is right for us now, later on we realize, say suppose you're really hankering for the promotion, it never happens.
Yeah.
Right? And you get so frustrated, you actually go to a different path in life. You take another job and you go down another path. And then 6 months later, you hear that the company that you wanted the promotion so much gone bust.
Right.
What you would feel then, oh God, I'm so happy I didn't get that promotion.
Yeah.
So we never know. So just don't get hung up over too many things, because life is so such that.
So, Prabhu, can I ask you then?
Yeah.
If you've done so much and then you give up, is that a failure on your part, or how can you console yourself and say, oh, this is not meant to happen, it's in Krishna's hand, just move on? Is that?
Our devotee thinks, Mataji, the devotee has this confidence that Krishna has my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
When I surrender onto him, he's taking control. And without fail, I have this confidence that Krishna has my best interest at heart. Right?
Yeah.
So no matter what happens in your life,
the
devotee thinks, maybe I can't see it.
Yeah.
But one confidence I have, that my interest is represented in the best place ever. It's represented with Krishna.
Yeah.
And you have that knowledge that Krishna loves us. Krishna will eventually make sure that everything that happens to us is in our best interest. So although we may not see it, although we may feel frustrated, we may feel disappointed, we pick ourselves up and say, you know what? If I'm surrendered to Krishna, my interests are represented by him. I may not see it, but I'll just move on in a happy mood.
Oh, thank you, Prabhu. That's very good. And can I ask one more question, please? There was a lot of talk about the Guru and worshipping the Guru like Krishna.
Yes.
So in this day and age, how do you find a Guru? And is it true that sometimes the Guru finds you rather than the other way around?
If one is very sincere, and it depends on the condition and sincerity of your heart.
Yeah.
Krishna is within the heart of every living entity, and your heart is in my heart.
Yeah.
When he sees a living entity has a sincere desire to find a guru, Krishna will observe, what does he want that guru for? Does he want that guru to give him some powers? Does he want that guru to give him some material opulence? Does he want that guru to give him peace? Or does he want that guru to lead him to Krishna, to me?
Yeah.
Krishna sees the desire in the heart, and he being the super soul within the heart. If you have a very sincere desire to serve Krishna, within the heart, he will lead you to your guru that will be able to take you back to him. You don't have to worry about who's the guru I'm going to find, who's my guru. You just have to worry, we just have to worry about being totally sincere about what we want. And then the rest will be done by Krishna. He will lead us to the guru that we need, deserve.
Thank you. Thank you for a lovely session. Beautiful explanation, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Meena Mataji, you have your hand up.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My question is similar to the previous two ladies. If everything's part of our karma, should we stop trying these things? Should we just let life take its course? Or should we still make that effort and see how we get on?
We should make our effort, but never be attached to the outcome. We should see the outcome always in a Krishna conscious perspective. Our main business in life, Mataji, in the purport, Prabhupada explains, all of us have two types of duty: constitutional duty and conditional duty. Conditional duty relates to the bodily duty, everything that goes to the body, right? And constitutional duty pertains to everything related to the soul. Our main duty is our constitutional duty, which is to progress in our path of bhakti, right? The conditional duty is also there, and we do it and we act in the best way, because the devotee thinks Krishna has put me on this planet to do a certain type of work. Let me do this work with the consciousness that I am doing it for Krishna, and all the outcomes of this work I offer, I give it as an offering to Krishna. So actually a devotee is, in one sense, is more diligent, more conscious, more better in his duty, because he sees that this duty has been given to him by Krishna, and the results of that duty should be offered to Krishna. One does not become lackadaisical, oh, it's my karma. No. A devotee never thinks like that. A devotee thinks in the terms of, Krishna gave me this duty. I've been put to do this. Let me do it to the best, as if Krishna personally gave me this duty, but the results, I will offer it to Krishna. This is the message of Bhagavad Gita.
Very well explained. Thank you very much.
In Arjuna's case, Arjuna's duty was to fight. Fight, Arjuna. Fight as the best you can fight. but you offer that result to Krishna because Krishna wanted you to fight. Yeah, so
Yes.
before we go and all of you go, I just wanted to, this verse was so appropriate today about the spiritual master. You know, if we want to buy 22 karat gold, we should have a good idea of what the qualities of 22 karat gold is. So in the same way, if we want to understand what is a spiritual master, we need to understand. So there is this beautiful book, 2 volumes called Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, which explains the life of Srila Prabhupada. I personally, my life changed completely by reading this book. I learned so much, and my journey in Krishna consciousness became so directed by reading Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. So Divyanam Prabhu has made this wonderful arrangement where anyone who wants to read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, it comes in 2 beautifully bound volumes. You can get them from ideaseeds.com or .org, or you can message any of us, the facilitators, if you want a copy. But I would seriously recommend anyone who has not read the life of Srila Prabhupada, please do so, and you will get great inspiration on that verse we've read today, this most important verse from the 2nd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. You'll see it about in a practical sense. Hare Krishna.
Can I give an update on that, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Following the announcement by Devinam Prabhu, we got quite a few orders for the Lilamrita, but those who still haven't placed the order can do so because we have limited stock and I'm posting them out in the next couple of days.
Okay, so dear devotees, if you want to catch your copy of Lilamrita, do so quickly and don't miss the opportunity. And Chandra Chaitanya Prabhu is here, you can contact him also.
Yes, indeed. And while you are talking on the subject of the Guru, I can tell the participants today that Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu has a wonderful spiritual master. His name is His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, and he has been serving his Guru Maharaj for many, many years, and he's been blessed by his Guru Maharaj, and that's why he's become the gem that we have right now amongst us. So we are so grateful for his association. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone. And they are just like desire trees, for they are full of compassion for all of the conditioned souls. Vancha kalpa turabhyascha
Kripa Sindhu
patitanam
Vibhyo Namo
Antakoti
Namah.
Vaishnavim
Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Oh, Premanande.
Thank you.
Hari Hari Bol.
So much Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Amazing.
Prabhu.